Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a while, I know, but today I thought that I would jump right back into the book videos and show you guys my top favorites for this year so far. So, I'm sorry that I've been gone for so long. For those of you who are maybe new and this is your first video that you're watching of me, I've been gone for 8 months after I posted like 4 videos, and I'm really sorry about that. I got caught up in doing a lot of things and now I'm back. Also, sorry about my hair. It's wet, it's drying. I didn't feel like blow drying it for this video. Okay, so let's jump right in. So these aren't really in any personal like order, so it's not from least to favorite or favorite to least favorite. It's just these are my favorite books so far for this year. So starting us off, there are a few TikTok books or well-known books in this, so maybe you guys will also have an opinion on if this is one of your favorite books so far from this year, so let me know. So my first favorite book is The Song of Achilles. Sorry for the glare. I annotated the heck out of this book. I had so much fun. This is the first book I've ever annotated and I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to be annotating more books in the future, especially fantasies. My mom is currently reading this book right now, so I had to snag it out of her room. But I loved this book. You know, I was kind of like, maybe I won't like it because I've never read anything about Greek gods and I thought maybe I'd be lost or whatever, but it was really good. And I promise that you do not have to know anything about Greek gods to get into this book. It's like one of my favorite books and I think about it almost every day, and I'm always trying to find books that can compare to this one. I have Circe from the same author right here, so this is my TBR and hopefully I will get to it soon. So yes, this is one of my favorite books by far this year. Also, before we get any further, I'm not really going to be explaining what these books are about. If you guys are interested, feel free to look it up. Some not very well-known books I might do a little splurge over, but yeah. So my second favorite is The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkoff, I believe. I believe she's a Russian author. I think she is Russian, but I could be completely wrong. This book was really good. It's a thriller mystery and it was so good. I was not expecting to like it that much, and usually I don't have very many thrillers or mysteries on my favorites because I just don't feel like I'd ever reread them, because once you kind of know what happens at the end of a thriller or a mystery, it's kind of like, why would I want to reread it? But this is definitely one I would reread. So not very many people know about this one. So something bad happened to the main character as a child, and she goes back and is trying to figure out what happened. That's kind of all I'm gonna say. So the next book is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I know that a lot of people have read this one as well, a lot like The Song of Achilles. But I also didn't think I was gonna like this book as much because of not really the formatting, but just because it didn't really sound like something that I would pick up and read. However, I heard that a bunch of people said this book got them out of their reading slump, so I picked it up and I actually enjoyed it a lot. I am actually pleasantly surprised by it. It's one of the only books that have made me laugh out loud, and the ending is bittersweet, and it's just so it's a lot, but I do really like this book and you should definitely pick it up. Next is by lots of people's beloved favorite author. I have read a few books by her, but not a ton, but this is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I loved this book. This is another thriller slash romance, and it is one of my favorite books of all time. I tell people to read this book all the time. It's one of my #1 recommendations, mostly because it has romance and thriller at the same time. So if somebody doesn't really know what they like reading yet, I'll definitely tell them to read this book first, only because it has a little bit of both, so they can kind of figure out, okay, what were my favorite parts, and it'll help them. It got my sister out of a reading slump. This is one of her favorite books as well, and I highly recommend it. And I know this is a very famous one as well. Lots of people have read it. The next one is kind of everyone has a love or hate relationship with this book. I personally love this book. It was the only book that actually made me cry for the first time ever. And I don't know why really, because I didn't have a super emotional connection with the characters, and the writing was kind of a little weird, and I kind of guessed the ending, but it was still that extra push that got me to be okay. So I started crying, and I actually do really, really like this book. It's a very easy read, and it's not very long, and I highly recommend picking it up. And that book is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. It is one of my favorites as well. I actually have a signed copy, which I think is pretty cool. If I can find it, I think it's on the inner page. Let me show you. But I like this book so much that I got myself a signed copy. As you can hear, this book has not been read. I read my paperback version. This one I bought purely because I love this book and it was a signed copy. But this book is really, really good, and I highly recommend it if you're wanting to cry a little bit, unless you end up hating it, which some people love it and some people hate it. It's also another one of those famous TikTok books, so there you go. The next one is Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. This one I have not seen anybody talk about, which is kind of crazy. Maybe I've seen one person talk about it, but I think it is an older book. I know I had this book on my TBR for 3 years. It was on there for a really long time, so I know this one is a little bit of not very well known, but I really personally liked it a lot, and what made it my favorite book is definitely the ending. The ending is what sealed the deal for me. And it's just really, really good. So I'm not gonna really say anything about it, but I don't really want to spoil anything, so I'm not gonna say anything. Just I highly recommend jumping into this not knowing anything at all, and it was really, really good. The next book is, well, the last 2 books, which is funny enough, is I got them from Once Upon a Book Club, and my dad got me 1 box for my birthday and 1 box for Christmas, I believe, and they both ended up being some of my favorite books, which is so weird. And they're both books that I personally didn't think that I would actually like, so I highly recommend Once Upon a Book Club, especially if you're trying to branch out a little bit, because you never know what you're gonna get, and it's just fun. So that being said, this book is Bluebird by Sharon Cameron. It is so good. It is a historical fiction, and I've never read a historical fiction until this one, and I really liked it actually. And it's not very thick, but it is, it looked really big actually, but it's only 430 pages, I think, and it was really, really good. I was not expecting to like it. I highly recommend it. I haven't seen anybody read this one either, so I highly recommend it. But yeah, it's a historical fiction. You're following the viewpoints of this little girl, and it's basically her story, and it's a mystery and a thriller and historical fiction. It's a lot, and it is a really good story, and I highly recommend it. I actually think I want to reread this very soon. Oh, this one is also a signed copy, which I think is cool because they give you the stickers, the author's signature on a sticker, and you can stick it in your book if you want to, which I always opt to do because it's cute and pretty cool. So The next book from Once Upon a Book Club that I also didn't think that I was going to enjoy, only because I do not read fantasy books whatsoever until after I picked this one up, then I got hooked, and now I have quite a few fantasies on my TBR. So this book is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen, and I loved this book. It was so good. First fantasy that ever got me into fantasies, and let me tell you, you need to pick it up. It is so good. So basically, she's like a mermaid or like a sea nymph or whatever. I'm pretty sure they call them mermaids. And it's just following her and what happened to her after she decided she was going to save somebody off of a boat. It also talks about slavery and stuff, so there might be a few trigger warnings for all of these books, especially behind closed doors. So yeah, always look up trigger warnings before you read, because you never know what's going to get you in there. So this book is really, really good though. It opens your eyes to a lot of things, and it's also just a really good fantasy. It's a very quick read. I absolutely loved it. And she's actually coming out with the second book in this series. I think she's making it a series. For now, it's like a duology or whatever. But it comes out September 27th, and I've already got it pre-ordered and everything on Amazon. So I'm very excited for this book because it leaves you on a cliffhanger for sure. Anyways, I'm sorry if I was a little rusty making this video, and I'm going to try to get videos uploaded for you guys because I really enjoy making them and it really motivates me to read more. So I'm very excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you want to see video-wise, what content you want, and if you guys prefer longer or shorter videos. This video was pretty short, but I wanted to just do a little tiny thing to get back into the groove of things and to show you guys that I'm not dead. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day.